Yo, 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 what is going on, CoD Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and today we're going to be taking a look at some big news that just came out, which is the new update, 1.0.15 Brave New World. This is also the first official update since global release on March 28th that we have got. This update is going to be hitting and dropping on 420, wink, wink. And so we got 7 days until that happens. I'm sure they'll eventually let us know the time and maintenance and downtime hours as well. Let's jump right in. First big thing that steps out, and we're going to read through, give you the full walkthrough. I'm going to give you my opinions, my thoughts on the points as we walk through them. The first big one is something that I actually had just started reading. I haven't really read everything yet. Is some big news. In order to get everyone ready for the expedition to Beleren, the guild is launching a migration scheme to help everybody move to the places where they truly belong. This is some news we've been waiting to hear. But let's continue a bit more. Number one, a smoother route to prosperity. 1-1 added the new division migration system, which will be rolled out to servers once they have completed 2 seasons. You will have a limited time. You will have a limited time period to move to other servers in the same division as you. Please note that every server has a player limit, and you will not be able to migrate to servers that have reached their limit. You will begin the next season playing alongside other lords on your new server. So this is interesting. It seems to me that they're kind of taking an Infinity Kingdom approach, where the way IK did it is they opened up a batch of servers, and you'd have a month or a couple weeks to migrate to them, and then they would open up another batch of kingdoms, right? So they would say, if you're in one of these 6 kingdoms, you can migrate to one of these 8 kingdoms, something like that. So I'm not sure if they're going to kind of do a hybrid thing of continent-style divisions, like in Rock, as an example. Before you get to KVK1, right, you used to be able to migrate, and I'm sure maybe you can still do it as well, but when you had 8 kingdoms in a continent, you were able to migrate to the oldest kingdom in the continent by moving there. Obviously, there were some power limit restrictions, but you could do that. So I wonder if this is going to be something like that on top of a mixture of IK, or if it's going to be a little bit of one or the other. That'll be interesting. The second part here is I would love to know what the player limits are. They mentioned player limits, but what is that? Is that 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 players? I'd like to know what that means. Or what does that mean specifically for migration? 1-2 added a new item, Reserve Legions. Use this item on the Legion training screen to greatly increase the number of units produced by your current training effort. So I imagine this is one of those things they're bringing from Rock, where if you want to use like a Legion reserve of 20,000 before you train something, you basically activate it, and then the next thing that you train will allow for you to do 20,000 plus whatever the normal amount is that you're doing based on your current level, right? So it basically lets you bulk train in a high number. You can use that for boosting points in SLE, other training events. It can just help you produce more troops so you can get back into the fight faster. I don't really have a problem with this one. I think this is more quality of life. 1-3 improved display for information regarding sources of artifact emblems, and added a feature to skip directly to the Forge of Light event. When the event begins, the Go button displayed next to the information regarding the source of the emblem will take you directly to the event. Okay, so just something that helps you get to where you need to get faster. Quality of life, like it. 1-4 adjusted the Augerstone progress for Season 1. The Resurgence feature will be unlocked once Chapter 1, Faith Above, has been completed. This is big. Because what this means is that this kind of lines up with what we've been seeing in Season 2. In Season 1, you got to wait for the 8th Augerstone chapter to unlock until you can then get Resurgence. In Season 2, it unlocks right away because you're in a Merge Kingdom. So the idea is they want you to try and be able to move sooner because there's probably going to be a lot more fighting that's happening. However, I like the approach of them giving you that option in Season 1, mainly due to players needing or maybe wanting to switch their regions so they can play with other players, or they can, maybe leave an alliance, find another one that just might be better activity-wise for them. Maybe they just want to move to go and experience another region, whether it's playing with friends, whether it's people coming to them. I think this is actually a good change. Now let's get to number 2, big one here. An even richer combat experience. 2-1 improved behemoth combat. Previously, only alliance leaders and officers could summon behemoths, and there was no ability to control their actions. In the new update, you will be able to control the behemoth's actions within range of the behemoth's targeted building. Okay, this is massive. This is something that I have spoke about for a while now, on being able to have some type of individual control of the behemoth, So it isn't, now again, you can still affect it with something like a Harlequin mask where you're aggro pulling it in another direction, but being able to actually control the actions of the Behemoth is something that I think is really cool. And I like that they're not just kind of giving you free range with it. They're kind of giving you a little bit of capability to operate it within a small area and then wait to see how that works. If it works good, then okay, maybe you consider expanding it. Maybe you just consider leaving it the way it is. If it doesn't work good at all, then you remove it. So I like they're doing this in kind of small incremental steps compared to just going YOLO with it, right? So this is cool. This is actually a really dope change. 2-2. Added a new officer title, Beastmaster. Only the Beastmaster will be able to summon and control behemoths. Leaders and other officers will no longer be able to do so. This makes sense. So that way you're not having 10 people trying to control the behemoth all at one time. Right? Or 9, I guess. 2-3. Improved display of information regarding legions on the map. Adding a unit type icon. The unit type icon will display the unit types of all legions currently marching or fighting on the map. This is actually really cool. And I'm going to explain. Stay with me here. When you think about a traditional RTS and strategy game having that type of triangle effect, where you have this counters this, or like this counters this counters this, and this counters that, it's nice to be able to see those units so you can more effectively look for your advantage troops, or the troops that you have an advantage on based on your troop, just in one way of looking at it. This to me is awesome, right? I actually really like this change, and I think it's going to be for the better. 2-4. Added a merit distribution table for battle reports involving rallied armies and garrison armies. The merit distribution button will be located next to the kill rewards button on battle reports and will allow you to see the number of merits gained by each player whose legions join the army. This is great. I like this because it's quality of life and it's giving you more of a detailed breakdown on how the merit points are distributed. So that way you can, if you consider joining rallies or doing tests with different legions, you can also see how many points you get. Maybe you do some tinkering. Maybe this is something that will allow for you to experiment more with what comps you run, maybe what talents you run, for example, whatever it may be. I just like that you can pull some more data from this, and that can factor into some experimenting. So, and just the fact that you're getting more of a detailed breakdown, you can't go wrong with that. Now we get to number 3, an improved alliance system. 3-1. Added the ability to directly zoom in on the alliance leader's location. The button located next to the alliance leader's name on the alliance screen will take you to the alliance leader's current position. This is cool. I think this is a little bit more quality of life. And I don't necessarily see anything amazing or not amazing with this, but this is a nice addition. 3-2. Adjusted rules for replacing officers. There will be a 15-minute cooldown after changing any officer role. After the cooldown ends, you may change roles again. Okay. I wonder if that was, I don't even know why this would even be added in. Is that just more abusing cycling officers to give them officer titles in the Alliance? Or for, again, I can't think of anything right now where it would impact you moving people constantly up or constantly down. So I'm curious, right? If you're someone who sees why this cooldown was added, maybe I'm just not seeing it from that angle. I'd love to hear. Let me know in the comments. 3-3. Adjusted rules for building Alliance core fortresses. Alliance core fortresses must be built in an Alliance's affiliated region, i.e. the region where the leader's city is located. Interesting. I wonder if this is going to supersede, because this isn't really clarified on this point, but is this going to supersede being able to place Alliance core fortresses in any of the Zone 1 regions? Like, even if you build it in your starting region first, can you then still move it? So, again, I guess maybe I'm thinking about it too much, right? Maybe this just is what it is, where it says Alliance core fortresses must be built in Alliance's affiliated region. So maybe this is a big update, and now you're no longer going to be able to build core fortresses in other Zone 1 regions. You're going to actually have to build it, or it only will be limited to be built in your starting region. If that's the case, then that means that you can now no longer freely build and drop forts. You're going to have to actually flag out all the way into other regions. This is actually a big change. However, I'm going to say this. If you're going to make this type of change, I would actually like to see them increase the road length that you can build your towers on. So that way, and again, I'm not saying this is going to be done, but having the opportunity where, for example, if you're in Kaltia and you want to try and go all the way around the map to then go to Burning Lands, you, in my opinion, should be able to. It doesn't mean that I'm advocating for that, and I'm saying, yeah, alliances should just wreck through all. No. But it is about it's about having that opportunity where it's still there, and it's not limiting. That's something I truly believe, and so I'd love for them to be able to do that. But do I think this is a good change in a positive direction? 100%. Because this, to me, now makes it seem where this could play out where instead of alliances fighting in throughout Zone 1, it's going to be more of that normal progression of them going into Zone 2 and then fighting in Zone 3, right? Potentially fighting in Zone 2, fighting in Zone 3. Like, that's more of where that will happen. And I think this is actually a good change because it falls more in line of a passive way to make an adjustment where you don't have to kind of create an entirely new KVK map, but you can still have the same effect. And that's not to say that I don't think that's a good or a bad idea. I'm just saying in general. Then we get to number 4, a more beautiful Tamaris. 4-1, improved Spring Warden building visuals to better match the faction's design. Oh, nice. I actually like the Spring Warden building design. 4-2, improved visuals for technology screen to help you master your research. Your level of progress in each technology has been made more visible and key technologies have been more prominent. Oh, okay. This is quality of life. I'm down for it. We're almost done. This actually isn't that long. I thought this was going to be longer. Well, I guess it was long in the beginning parts. Or maybe I'm just getting better at officially getting through the my review videos better. Let's go to 5. Incredible story content. 5-1, added the ability to rewatch narrative content. Oh, that's cool. You can rewatch hero dialogues in the hero screen and revisit main stories or village stories in the tail screen. Okay, I actually like that. 5-2, added the ability to skip hero dialogues that you have already seen. And then we have other improvements. Bakshi has been added to gold chests and can't be summoned by opening gold chests. Interesting. This is actually pretty big here. Bakshi, again, if you know, you have to spin a wheel for him. So the fact that he's being added to gold chests and now you're able to have basically the meta pairing right now for Bakshi Emrys, or Emrys Bakshi, in a March, and you can pull that as free-to-play, this is great. I am really in favor of this. And you don't often necessarily see too many heroes that are taken from a pay-to-win area and then transition to a free-to-play way to achieve or way to unlock. So I'm in favor. This is great for me. That's all I got, and the Merchants Guild always welcomes any feedback or suggestions. All players who provide feedback before the update goes live will receive a reward. So, again, make sure you guys do that. This is awesome, right? Again, I think this is real. I think we've read a lot of great things. My overall conclusion on this update is this is a winner to me. There are too many good changes and good adjustments or good additions that are coming to the game, whereas I may only have kind of questionable thoughts on 1 or 2 of the line items. This is big. I think adding in the migration system is huge. The ability to control Behemoths is amazing. The fact that you're able to get a deeper report on merit distribution, I think, is great as well. The core fortress change, these are probably some of the biggest ones as far as highlights that are coming out, but this is awesome. I now want to pass the question off to you. What do you think about the update? Do you agree? Do you disagree with some of the points I've made? Do you have a difference of opinion? What are things that you think are wins? And then what are things that you think are maybe some more clarification? I don't really agree with that. Let me know anything and everything in the comments down below. I'm excited for when this is going to come out, I have to say. That's going to do it for me. As always, until next time, I will catch you later.